Good day, Sail Wars fans. Today we have US1 meter match racing. The US1 meter is a designer's class. These are the Ferraris of the RC sailboating world, as they have no minimum weight and are all about performance. So today's sponsor is the Space Coast Model Sailing Club in Melbourne, Florida. Let's check out these custom boats. Here's Bart's Intrusion number 777. All these boats have 600 square inches of sail area. Andy's Own Design number 11. Their hulls are made from wood, plastic, fiberglass, or carbon fiber. Here's Richard's Bobby Monterari number 612. The sails are made of mylar or Icarus, sometimes of both. Here's John's Modified Focus 2, number 74. Most boats weigh around 6 pounds. Here's David's Intrusion, number 67. The ballast bulb weighs 2 to 3.5 pounds. Here's Mike R's Intrusion, number 57. A US1 meter took third in the Almost Any Boat Challenge, beating 2 IOMs. Here's Mike C's Intrusion, number 49. These boats are mainly sailed by 7 clubs in 3 areas of the country. Here's Dan P's Modified Focus 2, number 9. Clubs selling these boats are in California, Florida, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. If you know more, let us know. Here's Fred's Bobby Montanari, number 3. There are currently about 300 US1 meters in the United States. In match racing, every sailor races every other sailor once. You get a point if you win. Most points for the day wins. Here is a summary of the day's action. Each race was started 30 seconds apart. Here we see Mike C versus John. There they go starting. And while I'm thinking about it, a special shout out to the volunteers. You are the ones that make this racing possible. And thank you for our volunteer who filmed this. The course consisted of racing up to 2 marks, then staying on the far side of the course down to a gate in the back up to a finish line. Here Mike R and David started 30 seconds later. David got a slow start and gave up 2.5 boat lengths right off the bat, but he stormed back nicely. As you can see, he's gaining fast on number 57. There are 2 intrusions in the water at the same time. The intrusion is a great design. So that number 6 buoy, that yellow buoy they just went by, there's also a number 4 they'll pass. Those are the ones as you are coming down when you had to stay on the other side of it. This is so they didn't get in the way of the boat starting. It was then, I'm not doing a turn, Andy and Dan P's turn to start. And Andy had a great start. Look at that, he's got about a 2 boat length lead. Andy ended up finishing second on the day after edging Bart in a tiebreaker race. Bart was super disappointed since his boat lost 2 races by a total of maybe 6 lengths. And all the rest of the races, he did really, really well, winning by a bunch. But that's the way sailing goes. And here we had Fred versus Richard. It was a big race as they were both undefeated when they raced in the 7th stage. Fred's number 3. That boat was spot on. Let's follow along as they race. As Fred jumped way out to an early lead, Fred is notorious for having great starts and is one of the best racers in the country. You can see Richard is trying to make up water right there as his number 12 boat tries to gain. And he is slowly catching up. They're staying about the same width apart right there as Fred still holds the edge. Richard's desperately trying to get back into it. When they got up to the windward side of the course, the wind fell out for a few seconds. As you can see, both boats were very fast as they were catching up to one of the boats from the race ahead of theirs. Now remember, that boat that you're seeing right there started 30 seconds ahead of both Fred and Richard. Fred made his way around mark number 1 before going down to that white mark down there, as Richard then made his way around mark number 1. All eyes were on this race. And then they headed downwind. It was a little bit tricky in this section because sometimes it was best to have your sails all the way open and other times you needed to pull them almost all the way sheeted in. Fred is one of the best at filling the wind. And you see how they're staying on the other side of that yellow number 4 mark and then later number 6 mark. So you had to kind of stay on the far end of the course right there. And look at this. Fred is catching up to Dan P as he races by him. Remember, he had a 30-second head start on Fred. Our camera person had to reposition at times. That's why the video's a little bit broken up, and this was actually filmed using a cell phone. But we thank all of our volunteers because remember, they're volunteers. It's hard to get anyone to film. And there Fred goes on the inside. He takes the inside mark on that gate and he goes really wide. Some of the spectators were concerned as now he left Richard a door to get back into this race as they were racing towards the finish. It was anyone's race. Look at this. It's head to head as they go to the finish line, about 55 feet to the finish line, and then Fred gets a little bit of power and jumps back into it. We thought for a minute there Richard was going to take this race, but Fred gets back on it. He gets onto the wind. And we lose a little bit of focus on that camera. We apologize for that. There's the finish line right there. Look how close they are, 15 feet. Fred's got about a 3/4 of a boat length, and it's Fred at the finish line. Yes, Fred takes the win. And this would be the deciding factor as Fred went on to go undefeated on the day, as Fred took first place, Andy took second place, and Bart took third place. Fred was undefeated, Andy was 6-2, but he won the tie-breaking race over Bart, who was also 6-2. Richard ended up at 5-3 as he lost his last 3 races of the day, so I guess that getting beat by Fred had some kind of psychological impact on him, as Mike C took 5th, John C took 6th, David took 7th, Mike R took 8th, and Dan P took 9th. Please subscribe and hit like for more videos. Remember, we're all made up of volunteers. Subscribing is free. And we really do appreciate you watching the videos and supporting Sale Wars. We're trying to get the word out to the general public so we can get more people interested in RC selling. Well, how can you help? Well, for one, liking and subscribing. The more people that like and subscribe and share, it helps the YouTube algorithm, and then YouTube will push this video out to more of the general public, and we might just get some people interested in our sport. So please like and subscribe. And we actually have a video that we just published about a week ago that tell you how to subscribe. Remember, it's absolutely free. So again, thanks for supporting Sale Wars. We're all volunteers. We make no money off of this. We just do it for the love of the sport. And make sure you join a great club near you, like the Northern Maryland Model Yacht Club, or like the club that sponsored this video, the Space Coast Model Sailing Club. And of course, we love the AMYA. So I'll be signing off from this, but we do have a Balloon Bash 2 that we're about to go out and film, so we're real excited about that. Balloon Bash #1 was a great success and a lot of fun, so hopefully we get some good footage from you. So make sure you subscribe so you are notified and don't miss a single video. We love you. See you at the lake.